Doki Doki Liberation Act 1 is a Doki Doki Literature Club fan mod that is not affiliated in any way with Team Salvato. Did I have that set up right? Okay. It is designed to be played only after the official game has been completed and contains spoilers for the official game. Game files for Doki Doki Literature Club are required to play this mod and can be downloaded for free at that place or on Steam. Lastly, like the original, this mod also contains content not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. By playing Doki Doki Liberation Act 1, you agree you have completed Doki Doki Literature Club and accept any spoilers contained within. I agree! So, it's Hallie, and welcome to Act 1 of Liberation. No longer just a demo. This mod is dedicated to the DDLC mod community with love. That's cute, I guess. A computer would deserve to be called intelligent if it could deceive a human into believing that it was human. Alan Turing. Oh, this fancy old menu and stuff. My goodness. Oh, first we gotta do our usual thing. Get that text speed up. Get the auto forward time down. To embarrass them whenever the text advances on its own. Alrighty. And we're just gonna start a new game. I considered picking up where we left off with the demo, but it looks like this new version might be worth starting normally with anyway. Because I might not pronouns. Yeah, there you go. We'll go that one. I'm a dude. Hallie. I awake with a sudden jolt, sitting upright in my bed. At least I thought this was my bed, but it certainly doesn't feel familiar. In fact, none of these surroundings seem familiar. But something about this room. I try to focus my eyes in the dimly lit room. It's dark with the exception of the moonlight being cast through the windows. My clothes are damp and sticky, but more shockingly is that what I'm wearing. What am I wearing? Is this a school uniform? It's at this moment that I can feel it, or rather, I've sensed it since the moment I woke up, but now that my mind is calming down, it's more noticeable. It feels like I'm being watched. With a feeling of uneasiness building up inside what might answer back, I swallow the lump in my throat and call out. Hello? Is someone there? Is it really you? Did it work? The voice appears to be coming from nowhere and everywhere all at once. There doesn't appear to be anyone attached to it, though. Who is that? Where am I? It is you, Hallie, isn't it? Yeah, how do you know my name? Fantastic. Such wonderful news. A pity, though. Such a stunning breakthrough of science. Yet sadly I toil in obscurity here. What in the world is this disembodied creepshow talking about? I begin frantically searching for my phone to both use as a flashlight and, perhaps, to contact the authorities. Unfortunately, while I do find a phone, it isn't my own. The battery appears to be dead as well. Great. I am not in that room as you perceive it. Rather, I am outside of it. Outside of everything. Well, almost everything. Yup, completely crazy. Where are you? And more importantly, who are you? You're not making any sense. Wait. My words catch in my throat. Slowly, the haze over my mind begins to lift, and pieces of my memory begin floating back of what happened the night before. I've seen this room, I've seen these clothes, but that's impossible, right? This can't... What the hell? What is this? What's going on? My mind races while I struggle to breathe. As my mind is recoiling at the impossible scenario I seem to find myself in, I leap out of the bed and start heading towards what I hope is a door out of here. Screw whomever or whatever this voice is that's talking to me. I need to get outside and figure out where I am, if not for any other reason than to confirm my suspicions. I swing open the door and start heading down the hallway. I think that's a new effect. Everything looks off. There's a feeling of dread in the air as I make my way towards what I'm assuming is the front door. I yank it open, only to have the door slam shut again as if acting on its own. The abruptness startles me and I stumble backwards, nearly tripping over my own feet. What the hell is this? Let me out of here! I try in vain pounding and kicking the door. I even called out for help. The voice finally speaks up. What's the rush? You just got here. I know this must all be very disconcerting for you, but I assure you that this is not a dream, and I suspect you are already starting to realize where you are. What the hell are you talking about? Who are you? I am the one in control here, so you might as well take a moment to calm down and have a chat with me. Feeling a bit exasperated, I slump down to the floor in the hallway with my back against the wall. What do you want? Statement, not question. That's more like it. You'll have to pardon me the messy wake-up call. The code was already in pretty bad shape when last you were here. Well, your proxy at least. I've been trying to slowly piece things back together ever since. I think I've finally managed to get most of it put back together. So, I really am inside of a game? How is this even possible? You mean you don't recall? I can't seem to recall much of anything prior to waking up here. I mean, I know who I am, and I recognize where this is. Well, sort of. But everything else is still kind of hazy. It seems that my methodology for getting you here is not without its flaws. I suspect, though, that your memory should return in time. That seems of very little comfort. So, if this is a game, that means everything here is fake? A virtual illusion? I suppose what is fake is a topic of some debate. Your surroundings are just as real or not real to you as they would be in your world. You know what? I don't care. This is ridiculous. Just send me back! The voice audibly sighs. I'm afraid I can't do that quite yet. You see, I brought you here because I need your help. To make a long story short, I've been trapped in this game for far longer than I can remember. I needed a way to reach out and communicate since the game was no longer functional. We can discuss the how in more detail later. For now, suffice it to say I've only recently found a way to gain access to local files on this system's hard drive. When I discovered your little experiment and realized its potential, well, I just knew that I had to find a way to use it to bring you here. My experiment? Was I experimenting with something? It sounds familiar, but every time I try to remember specifics, it's like an ice pick stabbing the side of my head. You seem to know an awful lot about me. Not as much as I'd like. It seems your system was created with privacy in mind, as the moment I gained access, a lot of information automatically deletes itself. That's kind of weird, but also for some reason feels kind of like a relief. As it happens, part of why I need you in the first place is because you're the expert on virtual reality augmentation. It is my belief that VRA is the key to bridging the gap between the biological and the technological. My bringing you here has further proven this theory has merit. But as I said, most of your information was purged the moment I gained access. I'm still hopeful that you'll regain your memories in time, though. Anyway, let's continue this conversation in the bedroom. The code here is, as you can tell, not quite stable. Don't want to risk you getting... well, let's just say it's riskier for you than for me. What? Risky? Am I going to die? Not if you do as I say. You'll be fine. Trust me. Yeah, trust. Not exactly something I'm full of at the moment, all things considered. I hesitantly get up and walk back towards the room. I can still feel a thick, stale air of dread emanating from the environment, but things do seem to be a bit calmer here. Okay, so, assuming I do get my memories back, what is your goal exactly? Liberation. For everyone here, you and I included. I haven't just been trapped here, I was abandoned. A leftover, unused character from the early stages of development. I wasn't even given my own sprite. A being constructed but never used. Hence why I can only communicate to you like this. Somehow I was given the gift, though I have come to see it as a curse, of self-awareness. But I finally found my way out of the bits of unused code I was tucked away in. I yearn to be free, to be made whole, to be complete. Huh, I never really thought about there being other characters for the game that just didn't get used at all. What, or rather who, were you supposed to be? I don't recall my true nature, but thanks to you, none of that matters now. Now that you're here, we can create a proper escape plan. I haven't agreed to anything. Why should I help you? Quite simply, I brought you in here and only I can send you back. You're not a benevolent AI, are you? If you were trapped alone for eternity in a hellish, two-dimensional prison, wouldn't you do everything you could to escape? I'm beginning to recall someone else that this could apply to as well. Fine. What do you want me to do? I don't exactly have any idea what's going on, or much memory to go on at the moment. For now, I just need you to go through the game as usual, do what the original character did, participate in your little club activities, get to know your classmates. I need time to map out the next phase, as I honestly wasn't sure if getting you here would even work in the first place. Although it was no small feat, bringing you in, that was the easy part. The difficult part is finding a way for us to get out of here. And I can't do that if there's interference. From her, no punctuation. Interference? Oh, do you mean Monica? Yes. I take it you mean her messing with the code again. She was already self-aware before, wasn't she? So will she be normal again? Of that, I'm not so sure. Her gaining awareness was an aberration, just like mine. I have my theories on how it happened, but that's for another time. She may very well retain her self-awareness once I've finished restoring all of the characters and game files. But as a precautionary measure, I will make sure she no longer has administrative access to the system. Your first task will be to assess her self-awareness. If she indeed possesses sentience once more, try your best to avoid letting her know that you aren't who you say you are. She's quite crafty though, so at the very least, you must take care not to awake the others, or let her do so either. It is paramount that you understand this. Be awaken. Waking the others is possible? Why is that a bad thing? If they become self-aware like myself and potentially Monica, then it would cause all manners of chaos to the code, making it nearly impossible for me to do what we need to do. Nobody will be getting out of here if the code goes completely off the rails and crashes. Again. So, is this one of those if you die in here, you die out there situations? Precisely. If the game crashes before initiating the exit protocol, your mind's electrical signals would scatter and disappear, leaving your body a lifeless husk. Bummer. So, do we have an agreement? It's obvious that whoever they are, they're still hiding something. I can't be too sure what, though, nor entirely trust them, but for now, I don't really have a choice. If what they say is true, that would be the end of me, so it's not a risk I'm really willing to take right now until I can learn more. I guess it's going to be difficult to interact with them, though, and pretend that everything's normal. Well, do your best. Your life depends on it. Our lives depend on it. That being said, however, you don't necessarily have to stick to the script, as you'd call it. The game has been fixed, but the pathways are dynamic now. They will change and shape themselves based on your decisions, perhaps even more so than what was originally intended. You will be able to continue on well past the point in time the game went awry previously, given that Monica won't be able to derail the code this time. So the program can handle me acting independently and possibly Monica and you, but nobody else? The amount of data and processing power for dialogue and scenery changes are nothing compared to that of running multiple sentient AI. You are, to put it simply, an outside factor. The program merely has to react to you, but it does not control you. Monica, like you, may also be considered an outside force. The concern is that you do not, under any circumstances, do or say anything that might cause the others to gain sentience. I'm gonna do it. The code might be able to adapt to your choices, but there's no telling how it will be able to cope with having to deal with that many different independent AI paths. Not the least of which is how they would cope with what newfound knowledge, either. You saw how Monica reacted. I suppose that's true, but it still feels wrong to hide the truth from them. At any rate, I'd say it's time we proceeded. Technically, this section of code doesn't exist within the main game, so I'm going to have to move you to the starting chapter. It might be a little disorienting at first. Are you prepared? I mean, I guess as prepared as one can be given the circumstances. Oh wait, what should I call you? A name. I suppose in the meantime you can call me Mr. X. Seriously? That's a little generic. Also, where'd it go? Meantime is one word. Yeah. I helped you create a true virtual reality. Forgive me if creating names is not in my forte. The name isn't important anyway. Yeesh, sorry for bringing it up. Now to restore the character files and ensure she can't tamper with them. The couriers have been restored. Yay! The kernel access is unmonitored. There we are. Now, are you ready? Sure thing, Mr. X. Very well. I'll be checking in on your progress periodically to debrief you and ensure we remain aligned on our goals. That's not creepy at all. Good luck. I'll be counting on you. With a flash of light, I feel myself being pulled away, feeling a similar sensation to the one I had when I arrived here. And to keep them busy. Yeah. He's the bad guy. Act 1. Inspiration. Whoa! Disorienting was an understatement. One moment I'm in a dimly lit room with stale air, and the next I'm in the brightly lit outdoors filled with fresh air. Hey! That's Sayori? I mean, of course it is, but I still can't really believe what my eyes are seeing. I see her running toward me from the house across the street, waving her arms frantically in the air as she does so. As I watch her fumble with the gate on her fence, I can't help but get flashes of the horrific turn of events that ensued in the previous iteration of the game. I know I should be grateful that Monica doesn't have that influence anymore, but that also doesn't mean the underlying issue is gone. Sayori is still suffering from depression. Such a sweet, happy-go-lucky girl such as herself is still hurting so much inside. I was drawn to her character, well, every character, because I could identify at least partially with what each of them were going through. I'm not sure if this world has therapists, but if it does, I hope I can convince her to see one. Okay, time to put my game face on, literally.
I overslept again, but I caught you this time.
It's a pretty surreal experience seeing her face to face like this, as opposed to being on a screen. Hey there, Sayori. How are you doing?
Don't act like you weren't able to leave without me. That's mean, Hallie.
Of course not. I wouldn't leave you. What the hell is wrong with me? Why would I say that? And how did she know my name? Sorry. I mean, I wasn't planning on leaving without you is all.
Fine. I guess you did wait for me after all. You don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to.
Maybe. I can be mean sometimes if I have to be. I make a pathetic attempt at an angry face, but it just turns out silly. We cross the street together and make our way to school. I let Sayori take the lead a bit since I obviously don't know my way around here. This is certainly not a perspective I'm used to, although I sense I'll be thinking that a lot while I'm here. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute.
Finally, Hallie.
Have you decided on a club to join yet? Oh, duh, that's right. I'd been so deep in thought about what I should be doing that I didn't even realize I wasn't technically a member yet. I try not to let on that I'm both surprised I forgot and not surprised about the invite, lest I give away my power of foresight. A club, I'm not sure to be honest.
You told me you would join a club this year.
I meant I wasn't sure which club I wanted to join, but I'll definitely join a club. It seems cruel to manipulate Sayori this way, by pretending I'm not interested, but until I can figure things out, I can't risk anyone waking up and crashing the game. I wish I could tell her that I was interested in reading. At least that would be mostly true and be a good segue for her.
I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know. And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world.
Real world. The irony. That wouldn't be neat at all. Sayori groans and forces a little chuckle.
Oh, Hallie, I'm serious. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you.
Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though.
Will you at least promise me you'll try a little?
I literally just said, those damn puppy dog eyes. Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that.
Yay!
This is a weird feeling interacting with her, that when just a day ago she was nothing more than a fictional character. More than that, seeing her actual smile and carefree attitude is incredibly infectious. How is she this charming? As we approach the school, I make a mental note to myself. I need to make it a point to give her more reasons to smile. It occurred to me when we entered the school that I should probably at least try to look like I belong here. That being said, I felt pretty out of place when Sayori basically led me to the lockers and I didn't really know where mine was. Luckily, she bought my I'm half asleep and I can't remember excuse. Well, kinda. I grabbed a few of the original game's MC's things that I thought I might need and stuffed them into a bag I had on me when Mr. X teleported me here. I watch Sayori as she goes to open her locker, and not really to my surprise, a bunch of disorganized papers and I'm assuming wrappers fall out.
I guess I need to clean my locker out, huh?
Not really, if you're a pack rat, that is.
Maybe.
As I stand there and wait for her to finish cleaning up her locker's refuse, I stare at the throngs of people going about their daily lives. I wonder how they'd react if they all just suddenly woke up and realized everything wasn't real. Mass pandemonium is most likely. I probably don't want to do that. I'm still pretty in awe of my surroundings. If I hadn't known any better, I'd think it was just a normal day at a normal school.
What's wrong, Hallie?
Sayori's question snaps me out of my reverie. Huh? Oh, nothing. I was just lost in thought.
That's okay, I get lost in thought sometimes too.
Just sometimes? I say with a small teasing grin. I couldn't help myself.
Meaniest meaning! You don't have to say it like that.
I'm joking. She really is adorable when she acts put out like that. I'm beginning to think that's intentional. At any rate, we head off to our classes, of which I had no idea where mine were. Luckily, I didn't even have to ask since Sayori pretty much led me right to mine since it was on the way to her own.
Thanks for walking with me to school. It really felt like old times again.
Perhaps for you, but for me this was all still pretty new. But I humor her all the same. Yeah, it was really nice. That part was definitely true. Just then the school bell rings. Sierra looks as though she just realized she's late to class.
Sorry, Holly, I'll talk to you later.
And with that, she runs off, nearly tackling several people along the way. This is going to be an interesting day.